All right, welcome to the Feedback Podcast, everybody. My name is Back. This is episode 296. Thank you for tuning in. A couple of announcements. Subscribe on YouTube. Go to the Feedback on YouTube, just youtube.com/the feedback BAK. I'm almost up to date with putting all the episodes together and uploading all that. So go check it out. Otherwise, actually, on top of that, just go wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, way everywhere. Go back to the archives. I just had Raza Jaffrey on the podcast. We talked about the things that only happened in America. So that was really interesting. Who else did I have on recently? Yes, the great Ashley Overton was on. We talked about phone counterculture. That was a dope conversation. So yeah, just go back to the archive. There's plenty to go around. I've talked to a lot of people over the past 10 years. I've been doing this for 10 years. I ain't got no sponsor, no Patreon. I just do this because I love it. Maybe I should I need an assistant first. Anyway, yes, go back to the archive, check it out. Second announcement, record play. See that? Record play. Record play, I want to thank again everybody who came through to the last one, the Divas edition. That was our livest one yet. Shout out to Pershing, shout out to Kay Callie, shout out to Marissa Rivera and all the people at Pershing. I just got all the videos. I got photos. I got the videos are coming, but I got photos. I'm gonna post those very soon. But the next one, people have been asking already, and tickets are already getting sold right now. The next one will be on Sunday, November 5th at Pershing. So it's a brunch thing again. Going back to the Sunday, 12 p.m. brunch. And the theme is the Producers Edition. So as you know, I mean, it's hip hop 50th birthday. And there's been a lot of shows all over the country. Hip Hop 50. Let's bring out the artists. Let's bring out Dougie Fresh and LL Cool J and Rakim and EPMD, which is great. I love hip hop. This is dope. But I wanted to give it up to the producers on this one. So from RZA, Swiss Beats, DJ Premier, Kanye, Pete Rock, Jay Dilla, Alchemist, Timbaland, Hit Boy, Metro Boomin, like all those guys. So we're gonna give it up to the producers. It'll be hosted by Rudy Davino. Will be back on the mic. Kay Callie will be the DJ. I'll be hosting as well. And so yeah, we'll be back at Pershing November 5th. It is the weekend of Afrotech. So if you're in town, make sure you check that out too. But yeah, that Sunday, come on to Pershing and you can get tickets right now. People are already buying tickets. So it's early bird pricing through the month of September, but don't wait. You go to recordplay.live/producers and you can grab your tickets right now. The last one we pretty much sold out. There was a packed room. So don't sleep on this one. It's a big weekend because of Afrotech. So go to recordplay.live/producers and get your tickets now. All right, so this is a special episode. I wanted to do this one alone because I just came back from New York City. I love going to New York. I've been going to New York since 1999, maybe 2000, maybe. But yeah, I needed a reset. I needed to get out of Austin. It was getting too hot, to be honest. It's like what, 3 digits, 2 months straight. I didn't get much vacation. I didn't get vacation at all. I had a lot of work to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go to New York. And I love if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I love a city that don't sleep. New York is like that. Paris is like that. I talked about Paris podcast I did back in January. But yeah, I love cities like New York because it's vibrant. You can feel the city alive. You walk 2 blocks and you hear all kinds of languages. You smell all kinds of smells too, to be honest. And yeah, there's always something to do or something to look at. People are interesting, people are fun, people from all over the world. So I needed to get away, and New York was the best option. I also went out to check out some comedy. I'll get into that a little later. Maybe got on stage. So I'll talk about that. But the thing that struck me about New York, and I hadn't been in a while. I hadn't been since 2020. I went for my brother's wedding. Um, but I get like moving in New York is a pain in the ass. Not a pain in the ass. Like I'm not used to the distances. You know, I definitely got my steps in because I mean, let's be fair. In Texas, we don't walk, right? There's AC everywhere. You go from your car to the store to work. You don't really walk a whole lot, right? Actually, if you walk and you're not in like workout clothes, it looks suspicious. So and don't be walking in Texas. People gonna think like, oh, she's up to no good, and you can get in trouble for that. But in New York, everybody walks. So I was walking everywhere. I was staying in Midtown the first weekend. I was there for 10 days. I never stayed in New York that long. But I was staying in Midtown and I pretty much walked everywhere I went. If not, I would grab a lift. And holy shit, man, the traffic is horrible. It's so it's so bad. It's like people are honking at you, you know, people are riding bikes. I ended up riding bikes too. I was like, fuck the traffic, fuck the cars. Like I was going from like Times Square area where my second hotel was, all the way down to the East Village. And I look at the map and I'm like, yeah, this is, give it a 30 minutes or something. But like an idiot, I left around 6 o'clock and it took an hour. Like bumper to bumper traffic, plus the people, like I said, people are walking, so people are crossing the street. I didn't even bother with the subway this time. I used to. I didn't bother with the subway. I didn't bother with really cabs either, like New York yellow cabs. I just did Lyft or I got on a city bike. And by the way, they have those e-bikes like you can get like you on the docks and shit, and those are dope. Like I rode one from from Times Square all the way down to Greenwich or Greenwich. I don't know how you pronounce it. Um it was great because like I've never done it before, so I'm gonna sound like an idiot. If you already know what an e-bike is, good for you. But that was my first time riding one, so it's effortless because usually when you pedal, especially going uphill, trying to get in the groove takes a while. But that thing just helps you and it boosts you. So it was great. So thumbs up on the e-bikes. We need these here. Actually, we have scooters, so we scoot everywhere we go. But anyway, um I mean, I wanted to, I had saved up some money, so I was like, yeah, I'll go to New York and I'll treat myself. I was, and there was a lot of firsts this time. I went to my first baseball game. So shout out to Alberto and Mike Swing that I met up there on my first night. They were like, "Hey, back, you want to go to a Mets game?" I'm like, "Well, you sure the baseball, right?" Because I wasn't sure what the hell the Mets was. So it was at Citi Field. So I get to Citi Field, and yeah, it's huge stadium. And I don't think I've ever sat through, even on TV, uh, a whole baseball game. But I gotta say, it's slow. It's fucking slow. It's boring, really. So it's American pastime. I get it. If you're a baseball fan, all power to you. It's not for me. I'm glad I got to see it. I'm glad I got to see it. What was more interesting to me was like the dynamics as far as the announcer, and they do the camera thing when they zoom, when they show people on a giant screen and they start acting up or dancing or singing and going, oh look, I'm over there. And then there's the awkward moment when you're kissing your girlfriend, but it's not your girlfriend, like whatever. So I was more interested in that than the actual game because man, it moves way too slow for 5 seconds of excitement when some dude runs from base to base. So nah, but I'm glad I got to see it. And by the way, when when they win, so the Mets won against, I don't even remember who they were playing, Mariners, I think. I don't know where they're from. Anyway, the Mariners. If you know, good. I don't. Um, but they have the fireworks and stuff. But the fireworks were going on for like 30 minutes straight, just straight up shooting, and then the whole place was cloudy afterwards. I was like, I mean, this is not like a big. I don't think. At least I was not told that it was like a big deal of a game. The stadium was not even full, so it was just a regular ass game, the Mets versus the Mariners, and then they have all the fireworks and all that stuff, and it's all smoked out outside. Um, so yeah, my first baseball game was the Mets game. So yay, yeah. What else did I do? Oh, I got a massage. I posted about it actually. I got a Thai massage. I never done that before either. Uh, I'm used to, you lay on the thing, and then the lady or the dude, whatever you're into, just massages you. But this bitch just climbed on my back and just dug her knees into my back and her elbow. Like she was like rubbing my shoulder blades, and she was like, "Are you okay? You okay?" I was dying, but you know, it was worth it. Honestly, she even asked if I could get another 30 minutes because she said, "Oh, you're so tense. You're very tense. You're very tense. You need to stay." I'm like, I can't. But it was dope. I felt good afterwards. I really needed it. But I never done the Thai spa. So if you get a chance, I'm sure there's some in Austin, wherever you live. Check it out because it get an hour and a half. If you're sitting at a computer a lot, or you just stressed out, I mean, they made knots with my legs I didn't know I could do. Right? She put her arm under my calf and then went like this and he twisted it and nothing cracked, but it's just that stretch that she did. Like it, I didn't know I could do that, but you know, apparently I need to go more often. So that's gonna be next on my list. So then I'll talk about the food because I probably gained like 5 or 10 pounds. I don't. Can you tell? I don't know. But I ate out every day, twice a day, and I was like, look, I had it all. Well, I didn't have it all, but I had French, I had Moroccan, Brazilian. Like I'm Brazilian, I'm used to like the fogo de chao, like that kind of stuff. But a legit Brazilian restaurant, yeah, that was my first time having straight up Brazilian food, and that shit was delicious. Delicious. I went with my boy Lorenza, who I hadn't seen in a long time, and just happened to be in New York because he works on uh rigs for concerts and stuff. And we went there and we were like, there were orgies in our mouth the whole time. It was so freaking delicious. It was so good, so freaking good. I had Italian. I had to have New York pizza, of course. I had sushi in the cone. Like that's I don't know. I was like, yeah, why not? At this point, people just make up crazy things to serve food. So yeah, why not sushi in a cone? It was good. It was good. I liked it. I liked it. Uh, this diner I went to, um, I think it was somewhere in the East Village because I hung out in the East Village a lot, honestly. But they were like their menu was like 10 pages long and they made everything in that menu. There's one dude in the back just like he could do it all. And I was like, yeah, I'll have I forgot what I had, but something a little complicated, but she's delivered. That shit was on point. Loved it. I had allowed brothers too. I had to because it was next to my hotel. I've had it before, but I know it's an institution in New York, so it's just one of those things that you gotta have. I went to so there's a there's an area in Harlem on 116th Street called Little Dakar, which is the capital of Senegal, in case you didn't know. And everything there is Senegalese, and there's a Senegalese restaurant called Pekin, which is the name of the town where I was born, and where my family's from rather, but I was born in Senegal, but that's where my dad side of the family is from, and that's where we go all the time. So that's the name of the restaurant. And sure enough, man, I every time I go to New York, I go there, and holy crap, the rice with the meat. Like I ate half of it. I put it in my in my backpack. I went to a comedy show. I went back to my hotel late night and I ate the rest of it. That my mom makes the best, of course, but this is pretty close. This is really, really close. So I really, I mean, food wise, now I'm gonna have to go and work out. That's what's gonna happen. I gotta get back in the gym because I could see my cheeks a little, yeah, my cheeks are a little puffy here. Um, said, oh yes, another first. Um, there's a hip hop immersive experience they had. It was near the World Trade Center. Um, And the thing is, like, I kept getting ads about it. The algorithm, my Instagram has some hip hop in it. I guess I was geolocated or targeted or whatever, but I kept seeing it. And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go see what this is about. And sure enough, it's actually pretty well done. Like you go into this big hall and it's this whole, like, it's all projected around you, like on the ground, on the walls, on the ceiling, and there's a big screen and you look around you and it's basically the history of hip hop. So from the beginning, with Cool Herc and the block parties, the Grandmaster Flash, all of that, and then it talks about I think they break it down in four. So there's like the genesis of it all, then the lyricists, so Biggie and Nas and all that, and then it pays tribute to where hip hop went after that. So, here's Atlanta. So here's and then they show, Outkast, Killer Mike, everybody, then Memphis, and then Miami, and trying to think what other city. Oh, of course, West Coast, LA, um, Louisiana, of course. So it was pretty well produced. I really liked it. It was narrated by Skills, Mad Skills, for those who remember my Mad Skills. And then the whole thing is about maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then you go downstairs and there's another area where it Questlove tells the story of the DJs. So, Grand Wizard Theodore, the story of Grand Wizard Theodore, and the Scratch and all of that. And they have a little nook in the back that had just hip hop memorabilia. So, a lot of there's a whole set up with mixtapes back when mixtape like tape like the whole tape. Um, there's a whole thing about that. A bunch of magazine covers like Vibe, The Source. Actually, I have a box here that I need to get out. I'm gonna frame those because I have a lot of those, The Source and Vibe magazine and the French hip hop magazines. I'm gonna frame those for real because this is something that I want to keep. But anyway, so it's a Hip Hop Till Infinity. It's at the Hall of Lumiere, near in the financial district. Really, really dope. I really enjoy that. The whole thing took maybe an hour and a half. Of course, it's hip hop 50th birthday, so we're all celebrating that. Don't forget, record play, producers edition, November 5th. All right, let's see another. Oh, I gotta talk about this one. Um, I went and saw Michael Jackson the musical. So I'm not a big musical guy. I've only seen three in my life, the best ones. Book of Mormon. I saw Book of Mormon. I saw Hamilton, and I saw Lion King. And then, so this is my fourth one. But holy shit! I mean, I'm a Michael Jackson fan through and through, and this was a last minute decision. I was staying next, near Times Square, so Broadway is right there, and I bought a ticket the day before, and I had a seat like third row, front and center. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna treat myself because I didn't know they're not coming to Austin. I know they had like Dallas and Houston dates and Atlanta too coming up in October. But I was like, all right, I'm here, might as well. This is Broadway. And I went, and I'm glad I went. I'm really, really, really glad I went because the way to tell the Michael Jackson story, they started off like a this is around the time when Michael was putting together the Dangerous tour. And so it talks about putting that show together, and then it does flashbacks to Michael's childhood. So they had a kid Michael and a teenage Michael. And what was really interesting about that is that they had all the actors, of course, they sing, they do all those things, but they played multiple characters. So one moment, the dude who plays the tour manager for the Dangerous tour, all of a sudden, he's Joseph Jackson, Michael's dad, from like in the flashback. So a lot of actors would switch back and forth, and yeah, it is very well done. It's like there's like two two or three timelines going on at the same time, but it's easy to keep track. It's seamless how they go between the timelines. Of course, the music is dope. The guy who plays adult Michael, he nails it. I wish I need to look up his name, because what's his name? I got Elijah Ray. Yes, Elijah Ray Johnson. He plays Michael, and wow, he sings like him too. It's it's very close, but I think he nails it. He got the moves, he got the voice, he got the attitude, like how Michael was playful when it was time to actually be serious. He did all of that. Yeah, he really got it down. So shout out to him. Um, they had yeah, little kid Michael. Oh, the dancing. I was at, as you may know or not know, now you will find out. I danced for 7 years, and I really paid attention to the dancing. I'm like, oh, they're gonna do Thriller, they're gonna do Beat It, they're gonna do Smooth Criminal, but the thing is, they took some liberties with those routines, which was very interesting to me because they add some elements in it. Of course, they had to do this part, but they had their own moves, and it wasn't like a static kind of dance. What I mean by that is that everything moved at once, right? So that all the dancers, you know, move in positions, and you know, it was, let's say, it was Michael Jackson inspired routines, because you could totally see Michael doing the moves they did, and so by doing that, it kind of brought some fresh some little flavor to the routines we all know. And I thought that was dope. And it did, they had original songs as well. um but they told a story beautifully. The cast was dope, the music was dope, the dancing was dope, and it was just great to see. And it talked a lot about Michael's like childhood trauma. So that's why they had all these flashbacks, where he's in the middle of a negotiation for the tour about the some the money that he was spending and all of that, and then flashback to, or the dad telling him, hey, you're not gonna be nothing, you got to be perfect, boy, like that kind of stuff. So it really resonated with me, and I really loved it. So I'm really glad I went. So if you get a chance, go see it. I mean, they're going to Charlotte, Durham, Houston in November, Dallas in November. Just go to mjthemusical.com and check out the dates. And I'm telling you, if they're coming to your city, go see it. You will love it. If you have kids, bring like teenage kids, bring them to the show, because they're gonna see. It's a great introduction to Michael Jackson, I think. I mean, I hope as a parent you're doing your job and telling your kids about Michael, but I'm telling you, MJ the Musical is the best. I'm glad I'm up to 4 musicals now. I don't know what the fifth one will be. I hope it will be just as dope, because so far every single one's been crazy, and I'm really glad I went. So go check it out. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, of course. The thing, I was not on vacation. Believe it or not, I work during the week, I mean during the day, and then I go out at night. And so um I went to a few parties. The ones that stood out, Everyday I Freak. So shout out to Alberto for letting me know about this Everyday People party, which is apparently a big deal in all over the world. Apparently, I had no idea. And so it's this touring party. They bring DJs, and it's hip hop, the hip hop that we like, that I like, the old school shit. And it's this huge day party. But because Labor Day weekend was West Indies parade weekend, something festival, there was a parade in Brooklyn. I didn't see the parade, but they had, so Everyday People was Everyday Afrique on the Labor Day, and it was in Bushwick, and you had it's like from 4 to 9 or something like that. But I haven't seen them, short of going to Senegal, I haven't seen that many African people in one place. I mean, it was packed. Not packed like you can't move because it's outside, but packed in the sense that everybody in there, Ghana, Nigeria. I saw some Moroccans. I saw um, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Cameroon. I mean, all of Africa was represented, and the music, holy shit, they went through. Of course, Afrobeats is taking over the world. In case you didn't know, dancehall is on its way down, which sucks because I love dancehall. But I'm not so mad because the dancehall that comes out today really sucks compared to the old shit. So Afrobeats is where it's at. If you can make a song called "Yeah Yeah Yeah" and have a hit, do it. Fucking, it works. So they went through a lot of Afro beats. They did some dancehall, they did some zouk, but it was always like up tempo stuff, and the crowd was loving it. And I had never been to a place where they had mists on the dance floor. That is no, Texas. Uh, it's hot. Texas is hot. You know that, right? 100-degree weather and all that stuff. If you have a patio or you do an outdoor thing, put some mist. Just spray people with a little bit of fresh water, and I guarantee you they'll stay longer, they'll dance harder, and have a great time because there was no stopping that party. At 9 o'clock, they just cut it, but it went like from the time we got there, there was already people on the dance floor, and it wasn't too hot. The weather was just nice, like in 70s. Can't believe I'm talking about the weather. But point is, a mist on the dance floor is something I had never seen before. And Texas, you got to get your shit together and start doing that. I know there's water restrictions and all that, but man, that people were loving it. Nobody was leaving the dance floor. Like, I was on the side, I was like, this is good enough. But the music was dope. I stayed the whole time. I had a blast. So shout out to Everyday I Freak. And then I spent a day in Brooklyn, Williamsburg. I went to this place called Sunday in Brooklyn, which is a brunch spot that is renowned. I mean, I pretty much just Googled stuff and then was like, all right, what am I doing today? What area am I going to be in? Cool. What are the restaurants? What are the places, the bars, things to check out? And that's how you discover a city. I mean, it's not a you don't want to overplan either, but you want to have an idea of where you're going to be, and then look up maybe a food option, or like a couple of food options, and a couple bars, or you just walk and it's, hey, this look cool, and just walk in. That's pretty much what I did. And I found a party called the Dope Day Party at the Woods in Williamsburg, and they had like 3 DJs, indoor outdoor kind of deal, and they were playing some 80s, black 80s dance music, not dance music, but like disco funk music from 80s. Some songs that I didn't know, but holy shit, people were into it. People were into it. This one dude was kept locking like OG. She was hilarious. But yeah, it's called Dope Day Party. You can find them on Instagram, the Dope Day Party NYC, I think it's their Instagram handle. Um, so that was in Bushwick. That was in Bushwick. And then on my last night, I went to this thing because I was like, I don't. Here's my thing. I'm an old man, believe it or not, and I don't want to be around 20-year-olds. I just don't. I have no desire. It's just they're boring, they're obnoxious to me. I don't like it. It's not court ordered, but I just don't like it. So I was looking for a party where there would be people my age, late 30s or so. And so I found this place called Retro Club. It is in Midtown Manhattan, and it's like, oh, it's 70s, 80s, 90s dance party. That's how they advertise it. I'm like, cool, that looks fun. Looks like something, there'll be Madonna, and then next thing you know, maybe they'll play Wu-Tang, or maybe they play, Tribe Called Quest, and then followed by Prince or whatever. I didn't know what to expect. So this was my last night, and I went there by myself. And I get there, and it's like it was definitely an older crowd. When I say older crowd, I mean like I was the average age. And I think that there were some couples in there. There was some dudes that were like fresh off work, or I don't know, business casual. I saw a lot of khakis, a lot of button-up shirt, like, hey, honey, we're going out tonight. You better wear your nice suit jacket. It was one of those things. And I walk in the place, and they go, oh, we don't take cards at the door. I'm like, okay, this is where you're old, is when you don't even have one of those. I can't Venmo, I can't do anything. So I have to go to Bank of America on Fifth Avenue and get cash from the ATM just to be able to get in this place. So strike one. Uh I walk in, I mind my own business. I'm at the bar, just hanging out, just ordering my Negroni. I've been on a Negroni binge lately, and which is good. Um, Order my Negroni, and I'm just grooving. I'm at the bar. I'm just like, just doing. I'm not going all out. I'm just grooving. Nothing crazy. And this old lady grabs me by the hand and drags me to the dance floor. I was trying to order a drink. As soon as I got my drink, she grabbed my hand without saying a word, drags me to the dance floor, and we start dancing. And I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, relax, grandma. It's not whatever. I'm like, I'm just here. It's my last night, whatever, right? And she danced with me for 2 songs straight. And the DJ was playing the entire songs too. No, we'll get to the DJ in a second, but she was dancing pretty aggressively, I gotta say, because she was in my face. When I say my face, like 2 inches from my nose, and she didn't say a single thing. She was dancing. She was like, really basic move, hands in the air, a little bit of body, body wave, body roll, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll keep it simple. And she doesn't say anything the whole time, but she's like borderline, like touching me all over, you know. And after 2 songs, I'm like, yeah, well, nice to meet you. What's your name? Because my name is Laura. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm back. Nice to meet you. And I'm like, ooh, is this like who you here with? Like, do you always drag people out to the dance floor like this? Because that was kind of like unexpected. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but it's like it is kind of weird. Like, you didn't say a thing the whole time. And she's like, oh no, yeah, my husband's over there. And I turn around, and yes, her husband was sitting right there just watching the whole thing. And I'm like, maybe you should go to your husband. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know your husband. I'm black, he's white. I don't make it a racial thing, but I ain't trying to get shot or get punched in the face or anything. She goes, oh, no, no, no. He doesn't care who I dance with. And she was drunk. Yeah, she had a few. Um, and so she just leaves me alone and goes back to her husband. So I move to the dance on the side of the dance floor, kind of in the corner, and I'm just chilling. Nothing crazy. I'm not going all out. I just people watch. They're playing all the '80s rock classic records and all of that. And I see her come back on the dance floor, and she's looking for me. And she literally she's walking around and she's looking for me. Luckily, there was a tall dude right in front of me, but I could see her just like, peeking to the left, peeking to the right, turn around. As she was dancing at the same time, but she was definitely looking for me. And she gives up and then goes back to her husband. 5 minutes later, I'm like, all right, time for another drink. So I go back to the bar and I'm ordering my drink, and she comes behind me and grinds on me. And the place is kind of a hallway, so the bar's on one side, and they have two top tables on the other, so it's pretty narrow at that spot. And she started grinding on me, and I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, hey, Laura, what's yeah, I don't." I don't know about all that. And I turn around, and her husband is literally in front of me, sitting on the high chair, but was just staring at me. And I just go up and I say, "Hey man, nice to meet you. Lovely wife. All the best. I gotta go." So I went back to the dance floor, and after that, like I didn't bother. I think she went and danced with some other dudes. But for the most part, after a while, her husband joined and they danced together, and then took off. So now I gotta talk about the DJ, and you'll see how this all wraps up, because I couldn't tell who the DJ was until I got closer to the DJ booth. And the DJ is this 60-year-old white dude, right? But he's the kind of guy that he looks like the CTO of a company decided to be a DJ. It's like that. Like a CTO, the head of HR, it was like, "I'm a DJ tonight." He had one of those looks, and he couldn't mix. That's the thing. He couldn't mix for shit. He would play the entire song, and he would have no problem going from uh ACDC to Thriller. Like, there was no logic to his selection. And I'm watching him play, and I'm looking around, and I forgot what song he played. I think he played like a Britney Spears or something. And as soon as he played it, this girl next to me just sat down and goes, "Oh, this motherfucker." And I'm like, "Are you laughing at the DJ?" And she goes, "Yeah, he sucks. He sucks." And we told him, like, you need to stop with this playing whole song and playing songs that have nothing to do with each other. And I'm like, "Oh, you see that too?" And she goes, "Yeah, ask my friend here, my friend John John." And John comes around, and this cool older guy, and he comes up, he goes, "Yeah, I was a DJ, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And yeah, this kind of stuff he's doing right there now, that wouldn't fly back then." And I'm like, is that the owner of the spot? Like, does he run the party?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's what he does." But I tell him all the time to stop with the bullshit and either hire a real DJ, but he can't be on the mic, making announcements, in between songs, like he's about to drop something crazy, and then he drops the Spice Girls. So it was like that. And so we just kept, so the three of us, we kept like basically talking shit about the owner slash DJ of the place, who were just playing bullshit. Uh but we made the best out of it. Honestly, we shut the place down. And we were like, "Hey, let's go have some pizza." And we walk about, I don't know, 5 blocks or so. We found a pizza, and holy shit, that place had pizza galore. Like, it was like New York style pizza. That place, I forgot the name, but it said pizza on it. That's all I remember. Somewhere on Fifth Avenue. Um, and I tell him, I'm like, "Hey, do you?" I tell him about the grandma that grabbed me, the old lady who kept grabbing me. She's like, "Oh, you mean Laura? I'm like, yeah, do you guys know her? And she goes, yeah. She comes, she comes all the time, And I'm like, because the first thing that popped in my head when she told me, hey, my husband, is over there. He doesn't mind who I dance with. And I'm like, is this like a cuckold situation? Like, are they fishing? Like, are they have a fetish for black folks? And I was just there, so I fit the bill, something. And they were like, yeah, that's what they do. And I'm like, oh, and I'm just now finding out. It's like it's like 2:30 in the morning, everybody gone. I'm not saying I would have gone through with it, but I would entertain it. But it was just funny. It was just funny to me. When grandma grabs you and drags you to the dance floor, doesn't say a word for 6 minutes straight, and you realize that, yeah, Sue's actually, sizing you up. You're like, damn, well, whatever. All right, so I want to talk about all the comedy stuff I saw. And I was pretty much at a comedy show. No, every night. Every night. I mean, my goal going there was to see if I could get on stage, um, and check out shows. I'm a fan first. So I'm like, look, this is New York. There's a club on every corner. Usually I've always gone to the Village Underground or the Cellar, but I got to see some other clubs. The Stand, I've never been to the Stand, so that was great. New York Comedy Club, Broadway Comedy Club, the Old Man Hustle in Brooklyn. And yeah, every night I was at a show, and I got to see so many comics, um, and people comics that I didn't know about were just like, hustling and actually killing it in New York. And I got on. There was a variety, not a variety show, a talent show, um, that Victor Vernado runs, and it's a talent show. Anybody can sign up, and then you go up and you show your talent. And he just came up to me. He was like, "Hey, back, you want to do 3 minutes?" So I went up and I did 3 minutes. I had a blast. I mean, it was great. And then otherwise, I just did open mics, and open mics there just says it's open mic. Just like in Austin. Uh, you go up. The person next to you is the first time. I mean, it's a free for all, just like any open mic. And you got to pay too. Yeah, it's not in Austin. It's free, but over there you pay $5 to get up. And I get it because it's New York City, and they can't. No, everybody's hustling, to get on stage. Um, and so there's just so many. I'm sure there's so many thousands, hundreds, if not thousands, of comics who are grinding in New York. So sorry, if you make it a free for all, then yeah, it's you can't manage that. So I get paying $5, to $5 to get up. So I did about that Saturday. I did about four mics that day, and thought I did pretty well. But I treated it like a show. Some of them had an actual audience. One of them had an actual audience, but the other three was just a bunch of comics who just like look at you and just slow clap. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's just as bad. Um, but I want to get to I'm trying to think who I saw. Yeah, Aziz Ansari. I saw Jim Florentine, Aaron Berg. I saw Jared Freed, Mike Cannon, Nathan McIntosh, Bunny McFarlane, Ryan Long, Andrew Schultz, and yeah, Paul Verzi, Yal Monica, Will Savins, so many people. And the thing is, like, you know, I I say I'm a fan first, and I've been very, very lucky to be around professional comedians, even just as a fan. When I hang out, then I get to Godfrey in a second, but when I hang out with Paul Verzi, or even the comics that I met, we don't really talk much about comedy. Like, I don't bring it up. If they want to talk about it, they talk about it, but I don't really. I'm like, look, I'm just hanging out because you're a cool dude, or you're fun person to be around, and that's about it. I know where my place is. I'm only 4 years in this thing. I don't know where that's going to take me, but I'm not sitting there going, oh yeah, I'm going to be the next blah blah blah, and then I need stage time because no, and start name dropping. No, that's not my shit. I'm a grown man. I ain't got time for that high school bullshit. um but yeah, hanging out with like a Paul Verzi. I went to see him at New York Comedy Club. I'd met him here in Austin a couple times, and we got to hang out and have burgers at some joint. It's actually pretty delicious. The service was weird, but the burger was actually legit. Uh, and yeah, he told me a bunch of stuff, stuff to look out for, give me a lot of advice. So shout out to you, Paul. Check out the Verzi Effect and the podcast he has with Robert Kelly called Bone to Pick, which is great. Bone to Pick is a dope podcast. Check that out. Yeah, Yamanika, same thing. Like I had seen Yamanika before, but this time around, you know, I said what's up, and then like we clicked and we started just shooting the shit. She was showing me videos she was about to post, and all that. So it's really, and then hanging out late night, uh, every night, at the Village Underground or the Cellar, and then people just come in and out. The next thing you know, you're on the sidewalk and you're freestyling, and you're rapping along with Artie Fuqua to the 10 Crack Commandments. You know what I mean? And so it's not a that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy because it inspires me a whole lot. I did do a bunch of writing while I was up there, and I can't wait to try it. Um, but yeah, and then Godfrey, fucking, shout out to him because um like we hung out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And on Tuesday, I got on his podcast, the In Godfrey We Trust. So went to the Gas Digital studio, ran into Corinne Fisher, that I know too. So it was great to see her as well. And yeah, I got on the podcast and I met Dante Nero. And I've I've been listening to Dante since the Black Phillip show that he did with Patrice O'Neill. And so it was great to meet him in person and then to be on the podcast. And it look, and uh, I'm on Godfrey, but Godfrey's been on my show twice, on my podcast twice. 2016 and then earlier this year. Yeah. But being on his podcast, like it's his show. You know what I mean? And him and Dante already have that, that relationship and that dynamic, and they're talking about stuff that honestly I don't have much to contribute, like if it's politics and all of that. And when they get into their rants, because they love to talk. And I'm like, I'm just gonna, sit back and lay back in the cut and just chill. But we recorded for 3 hours. So part one is out right now on YouTube. Part two will be out. I talk more on part two because we talk about relationships and alpha males, and Dante lays out his whole theory on relationships and how to slide in DMs and stuff like that. So it was very entertaining, and I really had a blast. And Godfrey was really a good dude. He um got into the Village Underground thanks to him once, and just hanging out. Artie Fuqua, same thing. Like we're I hadn't met him back in 2018, and this time around, like we got to kick it. We ended up playing what's the name of that game? Jenga at the bar next door. Like that was fun. I met some other people there that shout out to Andy and Kent, who were in town checking out comedy. They're huge comedy fans too. So it's interesting when you're in New York because you run into people from all walks of life. I think that Austin has this it is getting there. It is getting there. It's getting, looking like a bigger city, but it's still very, what's the word? homogeneous, like a lot of the same kind of thing. And so, but New York is a little bit of everybody. And I got to meet those two people that I met at that old school retro party. Like we ended up going to that pizza joint, like I said, and talked till like 4 or 5 in the morning. You know, a pizza place open 24/7. Like that's not a thing here. You know what I mean? Uh the people that I met through, Victor Venato, got to hang out. Connie, shout out to Connie Chen, and we met up there. And then she had two friends who lived in the East Village, so we got to hang with them. So people are just like, I don't know, because there's so much culture, it's so vibrant and such a city that's alive, that like people are very welcoming. Like we walk into a bar, sit at the bar, and then shoot the shit with the bartender, and then they're playing, Tribe Called Quest. It's in the middle of Manhattan, but that's what's happening. And then uh I did go to a spot that had like a bar and then video games and stuff. Same thing. People are just chill, even though it's New York, which is very like, yeah, gotta go. But the people I've met, everybody's been cool. And so, yeah, I got a lot of people. I mean, I shout out a bunch of people, but, shout out to Paul Verzi, shout out to Godfrey, Dante, Yamanika, shout out to Connie, shout out to Alberto, Mike Swing, all the people that I saw, Lorenza. But I'll tell you what, if you get a chance, I mean, 10 days. I've never been out that long, by myself, especially. But I think that if you if you want that reset, solo trip is really where it's at. Sometimes I was like, yeah, I wish I had, I had those moments like, yeah, I wish I was there with somebody when I traveled with somebody. But I think I'm glad I did it by myself, because I was really able to, to check out stuff, you know, uh, you know, without having to ask or figure out logistics or whatever. It's like, hey, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna walk around. Oh, this place looks nice. Cool. Let's go in there and see what the menu's like. Oh, this place looks cool. People are, having a good time. Let's go inside and see what's up. It was really that simple. It was really that simple. And I would definitely do it again. I would recommend, if you're having a tough time and you need some time off. It doesn't have to be New York. I'm just saying in general, to just have a change of scenery and just go somewhere that you're not necessarily not comfortable, but that you're not that you don't know a whole lot about, and just explore. And yeah, be a tourist every once in a while. I went to Times Square, you know, once, and just yeah, they got more TVs, they're bigger, they're higher, great, done. But I think that the bigger cities give you that sense of, oh, the world is here. Like where I'm from, it's like a little microcosm. It's a little, bubble, and then you go to a bigger city and you explore and you realize, holy shit, there's a whole lot more out there. And it doesn't take um yeah, so that's my recommendation. It felt good. I can't say that I'm rested. I can't say that I'm rested, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm glad I did it. I will do it again. I'm gonna try to make this a habit. Maybe once a year, just go. There's tons of cities I've never been to. I've never been to LA, never been to Miami, never been to Denver, never been to Chicago. I went for 48 hours, so that don't count. So I never been to Chicago. So I think there's a lot of places out there that you're like, oh, then let's go check it out and see what's up. Be safe, of course, but definitely worth the time, worth the money. And yeah, I came back inspired, I would say, you know to keep doing what I'm doing, and meet dope people along the way, because you never know. So shout out to everybody I saw up there. And yeah, my next trip will be, yeah, Skankfest, Vegas, at the end of the month. So in the meantime, this is just a way for me to just have this have a record of the trip I just went on. Not trying to be funny or nothing. Was just try to have it. Just have a record of my trip, because otherwise I'll forget. I have pictures. Maybe I'll throw some here and there. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. As always, make sure you follow the feedback on social media everywhere. BAK. Follow Record Play Live on Instagram. And the Producers Edition is coming up on Sunday, November 5th at the Pershing, hosted by Booty Divino, DJ K Cali, and yours truly. Early bird tickets are on sale right now. You can go to recordplay.live/producers and get them now, because people wait. We packed the house last time. Just trust me. Get yours as soon as possible. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna try to get used to doing more solo episodes like that. I think it's great. So yeah. Thank you. Talk to you next time. Ciao, ciao.